Well, in the marketing space now, the National Institute of Marketing Nigeria has already conferred on 48 persons its fellowship award. Now, the fellow is the highest membership grade in the institute, and this is just as the NIMN has already commenced strategies on just how to strengthen its members to overcome the economic challenges in the country occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking during the virtual award ceremony, the president and chairman of the council, Tony Agamumen, also says the growing number of fellows is an indication of the rising profile of the institute as it continues to attract quality practitioners into its membership. He also explains that those conferred with this membership grade belong to the elite cadre of the institute's membership structure and therefore have a responsibility to project the image of the institute in good light, as many will look up to them for leadership, counsel and direction with regards to activities concerning the institute. Well, it's now time to bring you our feature on the show today. As the world keeps its tabs on the global village concept, it needs to also look at inclusive financial partnerships. Digital payment platforms are at the dotted corners of the world, enabling people and businesses to hit quick targets on deals and even trade. Stock markets the world over hold values for long-term investment and portfolio plans. Now we have seen levels of diversification in stock market products, from equities to bonds to ETFs to derivatives and even Islamic financials, all aiming at greater economic efficiency and growth. Global Stock Loan Exchange now opens another financial window for investors to trade their securities holdings also, and then this is also for an exchange for loans. Now, the speed with which services are rendered makes clients to prefer this option to traditional banking systems rooted in bureaucratic processes with hurting interest charges. Well, joining me now in our Lagos studio, I have the country manager and stock loan broker for Global Stock Loan Exchange, Ayegbusi Emmanuel Oluwasola. Good to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Now, for so many, the Global Stock Loan Exchange is still a novelty, but it creates a window of opportunity that not so many people are exploring. Why is this crucial at this point in time? How does it operate, and how do we have better inclusion in the market?
Thank you very much. Global Stock Loan Exchange is a global organization that specializes in securities-backed financing, lending. So we provide capital, we provide financing for businesses via stock loans. So many people might be wondering what is stock loans or what are stock loans. So when you go to a bank to get loan, of course, you'll be asked for collateral. So many times, you say, okay, I have a petrol station somewhere, I have a house somewhere, and that becomes your collateral. But in the case of stock loan, your securities, your shares, is your collateral, is what you trade for the loan that you're getting. So there are just about, there are few stock loan companies all over the world, just about 12. So Global Stock Loan Exchange is one of the thriving stock loan company in the world today.
Would you say this is still a novelty in Nigeria in terms of the level of inclusion and participation we see in the markets?
Yeah, definitely. And that's why we feel that for thriving stock exchanges in Africa, there's need for us to bring this down to the continent so that people can have an alternative. Like you said in your introduction, the bureaucracy, the bottlenecks that grates the banking sector in terms of getting loan would make so many people weary. So this is an opportunity for people who have shares, who have stocks in companies that are listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Johannesburg Stock Exchange, Toronto Stock Exchange. I mean, we have connections in all the stock exchanges all over the world. New York Stock Exchange and Hong Kong Stock Exchange and so many other ones. So this is an opportunity. This is an alternative. This is a way out of stress, from the procedures that you have to go through if you are to get loan from the bank.
Well, the current situations we have on ground, looking at the COVID-19 pandemic and how much it has hit critical sectors of the economy, for individuals who are looking for havens at this point in time or looking for the next go-to trading platform, what makes this really profitable for them at this point in time just beyond the regular banking system or financial systems we have in the country?
Okay, aside the fact that the process is seamless, is not stressful, as a matter of fact, if you're interested in stock loan, all we need from you is just 5 pieces of information. And with the 5 pieces of information, we'll be able to tell you in 24 hours how much your loan can give to you. We can give as much as $50 million in loan. And I mean, for Nigeria, for businesses in Nigeria, that's not small capital, so to say. I followed your program yesterday, and I saw the passion with which Chief Eric Umefia was talking here, talking about support from government.
Exactly.
So for businesses, for CEOs, for chief financial officers of companies, for shareholders of companies, this is an opportunity. So if you have, thriving stocks on the floor of the stock exchange, this is a time to trade it with money, and you can be guaranteed of cash for your business.
And for some, too, they'll still say, well, you're looking at big corporates, you're looking at bigger entities, and not necessarily for SMEs or smaller individuals who don't have so much of stocks to trade. How competitive is the market at this point in time for individuals as such to fall into this category?
Okay, well, to be very sincere, this might not be for SMEs. We're looking at people who have viable stocks, on the stock exchange, and who are ready to trade that, for a loan that is, that has an interest rate of about 2 to 5%. You can't get that anywhere around here. So 2 to 5%, and you can get up to about $50 million in terms of cash. So this is actually for companies who are doing well, on the stock exchange all over the world. We don't have boundaries. Whether in Nigeria or Toronto or New York, we can work with anyone. So essentially, this is not for SMEs. It's actually for companies, for individuals, shareholders of companies doing well on the stock exchange. We'll be able to help them.
I'm talking about stocks that are doing well in the stock exchange. Looking at the key subsectors, we have oil and gas, insurance, the commodities market, and much more. Which of these are the most favorable stocks to trade at this point in time to have a bigger loan opportunity to take up? Okay,
now we don't discriminate. we don't discriminate. So unlike the banking sector,
insurance might not be necessarily as favorable as oil and gas, as some would say.
What matters to us is the value of your stock. In as much the value of your stock, is verified and is good enough, we'll give you we'll give you a loan. So for us, it's not whether you're in agriculture. For the bank, many times when you want to get a loan, they ask you, what do you want to use the money for? If it's into agriculture, many times they say, well, we are sorry, we'll not be able to help you. So, we are not concerned about where you want to push the loan to. In as much you have your stock being viable, doing well, thriving on the stock exchange, we are ready to work with you.
Let's also talk about how this scheme is also being funded in terms of continuous business life cycles as well.
Okay, so we have custodians that are known all over the world. For example, we have Goldman Sachs, we have Bank of New York, and we have UOB of Singapore. Okay. So these are our custodians. These are the the funders. So these are organizations that have credibility.
Good track records.
Yeah. So the risk is zero, if I must say, because unlike other financial institution, there is no upfront cost to this. So if you're getting a stock loan from us, there's no upfront cost. So what you need to do is provide the necessary information. You fill the necessary forms. In 24 hours, we give you the amount of loan we can give to you. And if you fill out the necessary forms within a week, you get your loan.
And how much of a reality do we still have issues relating to financial fraud within this market space? For so many, it's still a novelty. Not so many people know how to meander their way through. So how do we checkmate fraud within this market?
Okay, so for us, the risk is zero, in the sense that you are not losing any money. You are not paying anything upfront. If you go through the process, within a week you get the money, I think that's not, any risk to anyone. And in as much your legal team, probably the legal team of your company is able to do the right thing, this must be documented. This must be, the documents you're going to send to us will be notarized. So, for us in Global Stock Loan Exchange, there's no fraud, no risk at all attached to any loan transaction with us.
And in terms of the stocks as well, so you're saying this cuts across the New York Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange, Johannesburg, much more intertwined, and it's seamless.
Any stock exchange anywhere in the world, Hong Kong, New York, Nigerian Stock Exchange, Johannesburg Stock Exchange, in as much as viable, in as much as trading, of course, we can work together. And
still talking about integration and viability of this markets now, what's your take on the forecast or the future of stock loan exchanges and the market in general?
Okay, stock loan is here to really thrive, and it's an opportunity. It's a child of innovation. We want to break away from the stress that we go through to get loan at the bank, and so this is, a viable alternative. So the future of stock loan, whether in Nigeria, in Africa, or anywhere in the world, is very bright. And I think that it's high time people tap into this and trade their stock for loan. And while I failed to mention this, the tenure for the loan is between 2 to 10 years, and the interest rate is just 2 to 5%. That's amazing for anyone.
And the repayment plan as well?
Yeah, the repayment plan, the interest rate is fixed. So it's not as if we'll come back to you after 2 years to say, oh, we are sorry, we need to jack up the interest rate. It's fixed. The repayment plan, depending on the bulk of loan that you get, 2 years to 10 years, and you can get up to about $50 million.
And still understanding the concept of stock markets now, this holds value for long-term investments. Yeah. How much of an emphasis do we have to incorporate in terms of educating the masses so that then we can understand better what sort of array we have this trade bringing to us, and then how to also embrace it, because you still see the participation level quite low. Not so many individuals are participating in stock markets and the opportunities that abound.
Okay, definitely education really matters. It really matters in this. That's why we are also here, and I feel that the Nigerian Stock Exchange also has a lot to do in trying to reach out to people and also strengthen the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The Nigerian Stock Exchange has a lot of ground to cover, and so if that is done, people can build trust in the stock exchange, and then people will be happy to trade with the stock exchange. Well, our rating should go up, if we really do the right thing at the right time.
And what do you make of the listings we've seen so far on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the performance of quoted companies, and the volume and value of transaction we've seen despite the hit of the COVID-19?
Well, during the COVID-19, during the heat of the COVID-19 pandemic, definitely markets all over the world were affected. Of course, Nigerian Stock Exchange wasn't an exception, but thankfully, things are bouncing.
Yeah, were the ones that
yes. In fact, as at yesterday, it was amazing. Things are high up now, and that gives us a lot of hope, especially with respect to stock loan. So that means that company CEOs, shareholders in Nigeria who have viable stocks can actually, key into stock loan, because the value of their stock at this point in time is pretty good.
And with just 12, do you think there's still that monopoly within the system?
I don't get that.
In terms of monopoly, as in if we have other competitive entities also participating, just like you've also mentioned your unit as well, if one were to do some level of comparative analysis, how would you say the market is either saturated or still monopolistic in nature? Okay,
well, there's a lot to do in that area. Well, we need to help our companies. We need to help so many companies in Nigeria so that they can be viable enough to be listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Of course, that would also give us some level of international rating. So it boils down to our economy. So if the companies are really thriving well, of course, they will go public. They'll be listed on the stock exchange, and then we'll have a level playing ground for everyone to really compete on the market. And then the country is good for, will be good for it.
And as we wrap up conversations now, talking about boosting the ratings of these companies as well, how do you think, what should be the blueprint or the pattern of recovery at this point in time? Because we've seen demands have dropped if we want to really face reality across board.
That would have to do with strategy. Now that the COVID-19 pandemic is beginning to calm down, thankfully, I believe that strategists within different companies need to sit down and project meaningfully, and that's why they should key into stock loan, especially if they want to expand, especially if they want to reach more people in terms of the services and the products that they offer. So stock loan is the way, especially if the banks are not answering you.
And also talking about our level of borrowing as a country, it's quite a tough time at this point in time.
Definitely.
And we've had cautions from the Central Bank of Nigeria. But talking about exploring the capital market, even as government, we've not seen enough of exploration within this area in terms of supporting capital projects or infrastructure that we can now say we have dividends come through. How much should we be exploring the capital markets now?
To explore the capital market for infrastructure, again, there's need for strategy. So if you want to explore the capital market to get funds, what are you using those funds for? How soon are you going to recoup what you've invested? Okay, what you want to do, probably infrastructure, is it going to be profitable? If you want to run, a rail line from Lagos to maybe Kano, how profitable is it? In how many years would you be able to get back your investment? And then what impact with this investment actually bring into the economy? So these are some of the things the government should look into. It's not just about building infrastructure, it's about also the profitability of such investments.
Well, thank you very much for your time on the show today. We've been speaking with Ayekwusi Emmanuel Oluwasola, stock loan broker, and then that's for the Global Stock Loan Exchange. Thank you very much for your contribution
thank you
on the
so
show.
much.
And hopefully we see much more financial inclusivity, and we also see a better performance of Global Stock Loan Exchanges.
Definitely.
And an embrace of that. We'll take a quick break.